I want to invite you to listen to Bugkalot Coffee. The people from Bugkalot are supposed to be visiting us the other week, but that
Hi.
will go away.
Hello.
And
What will be the topic right now? What will be the topic right now?
About Bugkalot tribe and how they grow their coffee.
Oh,
the
nice.
people who are working
Another taste of coffee.
are here to explain more about
Hi.
Bugkalot Coffee. Thank you so much. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Oh, subscribe kayo rito. Mag-ingat kayong lahat, ha.
Yeah,
Manila, God first.
God first,
Yeah.
Coffee company. So here's the mic.
Okay, hi everyone, good evening. Thanks for coming out. I know I don't look like a typical farmer, and I'll explain why. What we're doing really ties in with the community, and it's quite interesting, so thank you for your attention. Firstly, I know you're coming out of the typhoon, thank you very much. Okay. So who we are, so I'm Joseph, and that's my wife, Lorraine, and we're with Bugkalot Coffee Company, and BCC, Bugkalot Coffee Company, or BCC. BCC is a socially responsible enterprise that seeks to empower the Bugkalot tribe. We're also part of a US-based mission called Global Empowerment. And so remember that word, empowerment will come up again later on. And we've partnered with the community. We helped organize them into a cooperative way back in 2014. And like Rich said, I'm sorry that we weren't able to have any of them down. The logistics just didn't work out this time.
Living ko.
Okay. So just as a brief history, the Bugkalot used to be fierce headhunters living deep within the Sierra Madre Mountains. Killing was deeply embedded in their culture, and headhunting was one of the things that defined them. Like a young man couldn't get married if he hadn't actually taken someone's head. And so as a result, there was death and violence all across their ancestral domain. And that changed in the 1960s when Christian missionaries came in and brought the good news to people. Around 2010 or 2011, the Bugkalot churches there realized that they also had an obligation to share the gospel with other tribes in the Philippines that haven't had the opportunity to hear the good news. And so they started sending out their own missionaries. Our mission, Global Empowerment, partnered with the Bugkalot churches to provide training for the missionaries, but also to help establish livelihood and economy within the Bugkalot communities. To help lift them up out of poverty, for one, but also to empower them over the long term so that their mission outreach becomes self-sustaining and not reliant on outsiders for help. So that's where the coffee project started. So fast forward to today, and we're going to start talking about the coffee company. So some of the pictures you're seeing are pictures of them in their ancestral garb, and this is actually an older Bugkalot. I believe he actually has taken someone's head. And so the way they know that, they had special earrings that only people who have taken someone's head have the right to wear. And you can see the ancestral, that's a ceremonial bowl. So they would typically have two bolos, one for like hunting and doing housework and other kinds of stuff, chopping wood. This bolo would only be used to actually take someone's head off. And more pictures of what they used to look like. They recreated some fighting scenes for us. They're very good with like bow and arrows. And so the Bugkalot live deep within the Sierra Madre Mountains. And there's some pictures here of the area. Okay. So this is a picture of the board of trustees of the cooperative. And you'll see the bald white guy in the red shirt. He's an American missionary that works with us. So Bugkalot Coffee Company we're pretty unique, I believe, because we are not just growers. We're coffee producers, we're growers, but we are also full partners with the Bugkalot community. And our operation spans the entire breadth of the coffee supply chain, from a nursery where we produce our own seedlings to our coffee plantation, and you've got pictures here of some of the coffee trees. Once a year, the coffee trees will flower. They start forming cherries, they ripen, and then we go and process them. So what we have here is a coffee pulper. So you harvest the cherries, you take away the pulp, and we have several steps in our quality control to try and get you the best coffee we can. Here you've got people from the community doing sorting, taking away rejects, taking away broken beans, taking away little stones and all that, just to make sure that we have really good quality. And that's what processed coffee looks like. Green beans right before roasting, all the way up to packaged coffee, and we'd like to thank SBB, they do our roasting for us. We have here a picture of green beans, roasted coffee, and packaged coffee. And then the bags we have today are, you'll notice the beans here, actually in the picture, they're round. They don't look like typical coffee beans. These are pea berries that we have to hand sort out from all the coffee beans, and we package and roast them separately. It's a limited edition type of bean. So is it okay if I offer it? So if anyone's interested later, we've got 10 bags of pea berry that are available.
Can you explain what's a pea berry?
Sure. So pea berry it's a naturally occurring mutation where between 5 and 8% of every coffee bean or of every cherry contains pea berries. Most coffee cherries have two seeds inside. That's why the one side is flat. In a pea berry, hindi siya naghiwalay. So that's why bilog siya. So the flavor is quite unique. It's fuller kasi siksik siya. And so that's why we're taking the effort to sort them out, because we think there is value in having the pea berries separate. And last year, early this year, we actually, through work that the government, the Department of Trade and Industry does, we were able to get certified as a green bean specialty producer. So they have a process where they check our beans, to check the quality and so forth. And so we're very happy with that. We're very proud of the work that the community has put in. And we've also started doing other products to try and diversify what we're doing with the community. So I'll go back up. So this is a green substitute called adlite. And we're not yet harvesting, so that will be available soon. And we've also started producing cassava flour, so we have a couple samples here as well, if anyone's interested in that. And basically, I'll jump forward to the goals of what we do. Basically, is community development, where we're partnering with the community to try and address all the different concerns they have, not just economy and livelihood, but also social, physical, emotional, and spiritual needs that the community has. We're trying to do a holistic overall development of the community. And we want to empower the community as well, because our mission is called global empowerment. Our goal long term is that the community comes back to us and says, thank you for all of the work and all the help, but we don't need you anymore. We can do everything on our own, kaya na namin. We'd still like you to come because we love you guys and we work together, but we don't need you. So yung goal namin is that we cut the dependence. The other goal, the third goal, so community development, community empowerment, we want to empower their missions outreach, obviously, because we're a mission agency. Helping the community and lifting them up out of poverty gives them the ability to self-sustain their own missions outreach. And the fourth major goal we have is to become a best-in-class coffee producer. Anything we do, we want to do it well. And so a couple of the things that I think make us unique is that we cover the end-to-end supply chain. We do all the way from seed to your cup. Not yet fully to the cup because we don't have a cafe or the capability to do that, but that is something we're working towards. And the other thing that I think is really interesting is a lot of people nowadays in the industry talk about they want to help the Filipino farmers, they want to help coffee farmers. But not many people actually walk the talk. And I think one of the ways that we're working really hard to try and embody this is the model we have with the tribe is a profit-sharing venture. So the tribe has zero investment financially in the project. We've taken all the risk. We've been raising capital inutang namin for the project. But every purchase of Bugkalot Coffee, with every purchase, more or less about 25% of that money goes directly into the community. So they literally have a percentage in all our sales. So bakit 25% lang? The model actually is a 50-50 profit sharing venture. But because we're raising all the investment via debt, we have to set some aside to service that debt. And then the proceeds, kami naghahabit 50-50. And so, with Bugkalot Coffee, actually, the community and BCC, we are full partners. They don't work for us, they work with us. Or we work with them. And we talked about a couple of the other projects. And so, I'll end my talk there basically. Thank you so much for all you guys do. And right now, like for those of you buying Bugkalot Coffee, thank you for support. For those of you that haven't, you might want to try it. And we have like, I think 11, sorry, I was wrong. We have 11 bags of this. If anyone's interested in that, we have some of the cassava flour. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the coffee.
Thank you, Joseph. A round of applause for Joseph. Anyway, we're serving Bugkalot Coffee right now. So if you want to try it, just go to the background or order it. It's a very limited edition coffee. They haven't harvested for the year. We have it out.
We just started this year.
Yes. So is there any question from anybody? Is there any question for you? How hard is it to
think most of the coffee growing regions are up in the mountains. They're more remote, so travel is challenging. You know, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of expense. I've actually started developing back problems because of the work we do, you know, all the same vehicles. Because what we're trying to do is community development. I think there's a lot of work that goes into building trust with the community, showing them and demonstrating to them that we're really here to work with them, to help them. We're not here to take advantage of them. Because a lot of farming communities, a lot of tribal communities, may karanasan sila where people come in and take advantage of them, may nakikitaan sila, niloloko sila. And so there's a lot of mistrust. And I think for what we're doing, because we're trying to set up a plantation with the community, there's a lot of upfront expense. And so to date, we've been working on this since 2013, like early, so we're pushing like 7.5 years, and we're not yet truly profitable. Actually, based on our latest forecast, we aren't even self-sustaining yet. And so we hope to be self-sustaining by next year's harvest. And so it is a long process, and it does require quite a bit of sacrifice.
Gano'n kalaki yung salde? From Manila, gano'n kahaba yung biyahe? How many hours? How many kilometers?
It is about, distance-wise, it's about 250, 260 kilometers, so almost as far as Baguio, but it's like Baguio Metro is a little northwest, Talbec is northeast, it's the other direction, and driving maybe between 6 and 7 hours.
Nakapunta ako doon, alam ko walang signal, walang cellphone. As in, wala. Diba, you have to drive 1 kilometer away from the barangay just to send the message or make a call. So, ano kasi mga challenges ng project yun?
It is a huge challenge. The hardest was at the beginning when we were trying to organize the community, trying to set up the cooperative. Kasi yung mga papeles, they're not as mobile. So we would go up, we have to look for everyone, get their signature. Si ganyan, nandun sa bukid, you have to go look for them. And then we don't then bring it down to like sa mga Kapetolyo to get it submitted to the government. And again, because of the long history we have in the Philippines of, like say, locals, like lowlanders or businessmen, tingin kasi nila sa amin, like because we're from the city, they assume we're businessmen rather than missionaries. Feeling din ng mga government officials may masama kaming intention. And so they were also making the process harder. And because they're like, why is this Chinese person coming here supposedly helping this farming community? No one cares about these people. Like, they used to kill people. And so, even for the government, they're like, wala akong tiwala sa inyo. So the lack of communication is a bit of a challenge. But now, like we used to travel every week up to the tribe. Now, because they've grown a lot as well, we've actually gone down to twice a month or sometimes even once a month. So they've also demonstrated a lot of capability.
So, yung capacity building, no? Yung sa mga locals.
Yes.
So, how did they react to the project? Like, kukuha ba sila kape? Is it too foreign to them? Or welcoming ba sila na kape yung itatanim mo?
I think yes and no. Like with any community, there's people that are more entrepreneurial, there's people that are more risk takers, but then there's also people that are more conservative. So there's a small group of people that are more gung-ho, like, sige, okay yan, we're gonna work on it. But there was also people that were like, ano yung pakay ng mga to? And so I think, again, we go back to that process of just building trust. And because we've journeyed with them, we've had years where we really struggled, but tuloy pa rin kami going on. I think they've also seen that, okay, these people parang totoo talaga sila. Like, talagang gusto nila kami tulungan. And in the beginning, dahil din sa karanasan nila, they just viewed the project as something to take advantage of. Because most projects in the past haven't been successful. So yung view ng mga community was, let me see what I can get out of it, but I'm sure walang mangyayari dyan. But because we've been there, like 7 years,
Consistent kayo.
because we've been consistent, they've seen that yung view nila nagbago rin. They're like, okay, we really want to make this coffee project work. The way they say it in Bugkalot is, like it's ours. So they have a lot more owners. From before, when it was like something that I can maybe benefit from, now it's like it's ours. And we really want to make it succeed. And what can we do? How can we partner together?
Yeah, in terms of relationship with the community, you really enjoy it. It's good relation, accepted and work with. And now you have two products in front of us. One is Bugkalot Coffee and another one is Kasama Flour. So, pwede ba namin malaman magkano yung flour, magkano yung coffee?
So the Kasama flour, we've partnered with a local company called Jacob's Well, and they're helping us with the packaging. A bag of this is 750 grams, and it's everything free except the product. It's gluten free, nut free, organic, allergen free, and so on. It's 185 pesos per bag, and then these bags are tea berry, so they're 500 pesos for the tea berry. It's a little more expensive than our regular beans because of the additional sorting. We don't need a hand sort siya individually.
Yes, sir.
So Joseph, now I see a lot of people lining up for your coffee, and then there are a few people here already drinking your coffee. So what do we really expect from Bugkalot? Is it a light coffee? Is it a heavy coffee? Is it like Morocco? They will be away for about 5 months. So can you just tell us how do you describe your coffee? Just you personally, like how would you describe it? Is it smooth or?
Well, let me take the opportunity to thank SGD as well and do a plug for you guys. We've partnered with SGD to try and develop a roast that highlights the natural flavors of the coffee. So we roasted it medium so that it's not too light because we don't want to have too much of the acidity come out. But we also try to avoid roasting it too dark where all you end up tasting is the roast. So I would say for me, I find it pretty smooth. It's a medium body because of the roast. Obviously, it's a medium roast. We were talking earlier, and there's I think notes of vanilla. I'm actually not the best at getting the very specific notes, but personally, I love it. And obviously, I'm biased. I understand. But I think it does get like that natural. There's a bit of a fruity flavor that comes out, and a little bit of dark chocolate. But I understand that's very subjective.
So that sounds really good.
Well, I hope so, but we're also not insecure about it. So we understand taste is very personal, and we've had people try the coffee and say, I would actually like it a little darker, and we've had people come and say, I actually like it a little lighter. And because we're still a fairly new project, like none of our trees are actually at full maturity. If we go up,
Gumagamit ba kayo ng fertilizer, ng pesticide?
well, okay, I'll answer that. If you look at the trees, they're actually not yet fully mature. And so as the trees mature, as harvest grows, we do intend to do more roasts to try and provide like light, medium, and dark and stuff. In terms of your question, like pesticide and fertilizer, because it's a commercial operation, we do use we do use pest control, we do use pesticides, but we do not do that during harvest season. And we have been working over the last 4 or 5 years towards more organic farming principles. And so we have like organic fertilizer production facility, like using compost and vermicast. But because of the size of the plantation, we're almost at 40 hectares now. It's not yet, the production isn't enough to support the entire plantation. So we do augment with commercial fertilizer.
Last question, Joseph. So, I want to give Bugkalot Coffee as a gift for Christmas. How do we order?
Okay, thank you for the question. So you can find us online at bugkalotcoffee.com or on Facebook or on Instagram. Correct? Yeah, my wife does the social media. Medyo low tech kasi ako. So, nakatago lang ng mask. Parang matanda na ako. So, yeah, we have a website or on Facebook or on Instagram.
You can just order online.
Yeah, send us a private message and we can get in touch with you right away.
Sa kanya lang po ngayon, it's available right now, but there's no coffee bean or grounds here. Kasi hindi pa sila nakapag-harvest. Pa-harvest pa lang. So, out of stock na sila. So, ito lang, very special. If I really want just if you want, pwede naman natin i-grind to whole beans. Pwede naman mag-grind. 500 pesos.
For the tea berry. Yung regular, like our regular beans are 420 for a bag. Actually, because harvest is once a year, it starts around this time, October, November. So harvest has started, pero pasimula pa lang.
May possibility daw na if ever we're going to procure beans for our business sa cafe namin, do we need to procure a permit or any specializing para magamit yung product? Or may contract with it? If you're going to buy it?
At the moment, we're not yet supplying commercially in bulk. Mostly because yung production niya, it's not like at full scale yet. It's not like 100%.
Do you plan to?
We definitely do intend on, because like every year we're also continuing to plant more trees. And so as the trees mature and production grows, we do expect that we will reach the point where we will explore that.
Sorry, may question lang yun. So, yung harvest nyo ngayon, saan na pupunta?
So right now because we do like a profit sharing model with the community, and if you look at the coffee supply chain, the highest margins are on the beverage side and then roasted coffee. So at the volume we're at, that's why we haven't been really offering green beans, because the value for the coffee would be lower, and by doing that, affected the yung community. So we're trying to push it as much as we can further up the supply chain, but at the point that production exceeds our ability to move it roasted, definitely explore that.
Thank you, Joseph. Meron po bang tanong? Anyway, salamat po. Thank you, Joseph, for coming over and explaining the Bugkalot Coffee project. And I hope everybody, the people here also learn something from your community. And we're really glad you're here. Thank you po sa lahat na nakinig. Salamat sa pagpunta sa Kapetolyo. And if you want to try Bugkalot Coffee, it's being offered here right now. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
You can invite them to buy your coffee and kasama. Invite them to buy your coffee and kasama.